Right now we're going to move from spectacular outdoor settings and beautiful, beautiful sentiments to incredible interiors that will blow you away. We are joined now by Monique Capinelli, and she's with Articulture Designs, and you have something absolutely unique that you're offering the people of Texas. These are amazing creations using living plants, but you're creating works of art with them. What gave you the inspiration to bring those two worlds together?
Well, I think, I've always believed in where, preparation meets opportunity. I grew up in a very creative entrepreneurship kind of environment as a child and dabbled in a lot of different creative works, mosaics and dance and mobile making. And, it just, my love of gardening too. My dad was an avid gardener.
Right.
And as I reached my late 20s, there was just a time where those two worlds kind of came together, and the word articulture was like perfect for that, because it was where horticulture and art comes together. And I love the infusion of the creativity in gardening and the uniqueness of the opportunity that you can do with plants. You know.
Well, you've brought so many of your interests together in articulture, and what I really love is the studio space you've created. When I saw the first images of these, literally my jaw hit the table. I was like,
Awesome.
this is really stunning. Now, this is the central part of your business, is the studio, and you use it for lots of different kinds of things.
Yep.
You of course sell your art, but you also teach and have functions there, right?
We do. Well, we were super happy. We've been by appointment only at a home studio we created for the past 6.5 years, and then we were really lucky to find a gorgeous piece of property and 3/4 of an acre in South Austin, and we built basically from the ground up my dream studio. And so it's 1,200 square feet with a 17-foot square ceiling, and then we have a gallery boutique area that's about 1,000 square feet, and then gorgeous outdoor grounds with big elms and oaks. And I teach classes out there. We host events. It's available for the public to do a private event rental. We also are launching, I'm super excited about, Yoga in the Garden series. We're starting this Saturday. And just kind of other different things to utilize the space. And Austin is such a place where you can be outside so many times out of the year. So we just kind of want to share it with the community.
Well, you have living walls of garden art. You have benches, tables, you name it, right?
Pretty much. The sky's the limit to me. I mean, I feel like once kind of that the possibility, the door open, I just felt like it was limitless. It's like all the things that you can do and create is just. It's what the imagination holds. And so to me, I feel challenged by my clients a lot of the times and inspired by nature itself on what can be done. And putting plants on the wall is nothing that's new, but how could we make it new was where I approached it.
Well, spectacular creations, and you talk about the challenges involved. A lot of people would look at this and say, gee, how would I keep that alive? How do I take care of that? Let's talk about some of those beautiful wall installations, for example. What is the plant material rooted in?
Well, it varies. The different mechanics depend on really the plants that are being used and also the environment that the wall is being hung in. Is it interior, is it exterior?
Right.
So it could be a soil-based wall. It could be non-soil based. Like, for example, if we're using a lot of bromeliads and tillandsias, we don't need to create a big system with soil-based back there. But if somebody wants some more of the succulents, which is really popular right now, we do need a soil-based system. So depending on the type of design, we kind of utilize all the inventions that are out there in the world of vertical gardening and really tailor the piece according to what the client wants. And because we like to frame the art, it's it also lends itself to many opportunities on what that framing looks like. Is it a vintage wood frame? Is it a steel frame? And all those things kind of go into deciding what the actual, again, the mechanics of the wall is.
Well, I could see that you would have a lot of avant-gardeners out there, so people who would be really interested in what you're doing. And also willing to go the extra mile to take care of these spectacular creations. Now, you've brought some things with you that I want to kind of highlight. The studio space is spectacular, but you don't need to have a whole wall to
That's right.
be engaged with this kind of activity. And this is one that I find this so
adorable.
charming. You know, here a little frame, looks like a vintage frame.
Yep.
Filled with you know, succulents and bromeliads, etc. Now, is it just the moss that I see that these things are rooted in?
It is just the moss, and then the succulents like the jade that is in there. We keep a little bit of its root ball, and because it's a small specimen, it's not a whole lot. We keep a little bit of that root ball and put the moss around it. And I also use a product called Tilly Tacker, which is really good kind of adhesive for plants. And so that is another way that we can kind of put the pieces in there and hold tight. in there.
Well, this is absolutely charming, and I'm assuming that you would just come through and miss this occasionally.
Exactly. Most of the living walls and most of the succulent arrangements and things like that, we use a hand mister.
Yeah.
So you kind of can regulate the amount of water that's going in. You know, sometimes like, oh, I accidentally poured a cup in there. You can't take it out.
Right.
So misting it allows you to not only give the humidity that a lot of these plants like on the outside,
Sure.
but also kind of regulate a little bit at a time. And you get really specific because in the walls sometimes, we have, for example, the Babosa Tillandsia in there right next to the Chrysilla jade, and they need a little bit of different watering. So using the spritz bottle, it allows you to be specific like that.
Right. Well, again, these are super charming, and there are lots of different ones that you brought that I want to highlight. And this one, to me, is too precious.
I know, it's adorable.
It's really, really cute, and I could see this would be an amazingly special gift for somebody. But I could also see it sitting on somebody's desk. You know, and they would just be like their little miniature garden on their desk. Right?
Exactly. It's a lot of ways. I'm inspired by people who want to have a little bit of greenery inside, who maybe don't have the space for it, the garden, but they want a little bit of this. And this is a little mini landscape. And we just, it's just a little vintage box that we planted up.
Well, it's, again, super charming, and it looks like it would be very easy to use. And in this one, I feel a little heft. So I think there's a little soil, and I can see a little tiny bit of ground gravel and ground glass on the top to give it a little sparkle.
Exactly, a little top dressing to kind of hide the soil messiness. And we do, especially in containers like this where there's no drainage, I do like a faux drainage where I'll put some aggregate at the bottom before I put my soil. So you allow a little bit of a root air, air around those roots at the bottom.
I'm going to try to be careful with this. Then I see we.
Oh, I got it. I'll put it on.
Okay, but
this is a little.
You said you like to make mobiles.
Yes, I do.
And here's one, and you have a special name for this.
So these are called kokidami balls, and this is a form of Japanese garden that's been around a while. And basically we've taken for example, this Echeveria succulent, taken the root ball, kind of gotten rid of the excess soil, surrounded the inside with some wet sphagnum and peat moss, and then capped it with some sheet moss, and then used some fishing line to create this nice little ball. And watering's really easy. You just dunk that in some water for a minute and then let it air out. And it's just really, does really well.
Well, I can see that these are healthy looking plants. They seem very happy. But the whole arrangement is so much fun.
It is.
You're a very creative individual, and you're bringing, I think, something absolutely unique to the market.
I know, I love this one is blooming.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, to me, I'm inspired by all the different things that you can do. And again, I love the surprise factor. I mean, plants on the wall or plants hanging from the ceiling, I mean, it's just, making it with a mobile like that with an antler or a piece of driftwood. And that's something really anybody could do at home on a Saturday afternoon.
Okay. Well, there's still more I want to show. And one of the things, another of the arts that you're interested in is ceramics.
Yes.
And you have kind of a pair here, which they don't necessarily have to go together, but they're both based on natural seeds, right?
Right. They're a natural pod that I found that I created a 3-part mold, and then we fired and glazed it at our studio, and they actually hang on the wall. And so you can have a little bit of some nature with your plant that has a euphorbia in it right now. Or you can just leave it blank like this and maybe just put an air plant in it. Or, maybe it would hold water, maybe just a little fresh rose for the week or something. So it depends on what you want to do.
Beautiful ceramic work, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely love this, and I love the use of the natural forms as well. So, a lot of creativity involved here, and we have some of the different, looks like seed pods here on the table as well. And
that's what this is an example of what the original,
right.
Looks like in its just natural form. And these are fantastic, and I use them a lot for some shows. But then I was really worried about the longevity of just deteriorating after a while with that soil and moisture. And so that's what kind of inspired me to say, well, how could we make this where it's something that you don't have to worry about that now, but you get that joy of that feel of nature.
Well, a lot of people are using air plants nowadays, and this is one, again, I just really wanted to show off as be the last one we have time to talk about, but again, gorgeous ceramic work here.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a ceramic leaf holding a little air plant, and I can see that sitting in somebody's window and brightening their day. And so how do people learn about you? What's your website?
Our website is articulturedesigns.com, and you can go on there. We also have a Facebook, Articulture Designs. People can see kind of the happenings of the classes or events that we might host.
Right.
So that's a really good place. Is the website.
And the venue's available for rent for events
as well. And that'll be on the website as well. You can go and see, and I think we're really comparable for what we offer as an outdoor venue, and it's really lovely.
Spectacular indoor and beautiful outdoors as well. High art in South Austin. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
coming on the program, and best wishes for your success. This is very cool.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
All right. Well, coming up next is our friend Daphne.